Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the Weekly Pint. This is not a show. This is a happy hour. So make sure you guys have a beer in front of you. It looks like everybody that's on the stream so far is drinking something, except for Justin. He's about to go to bed because he's like 9 times older than he actually is. John is drinking a Rebel Metal Volume. Marco is getting his Truth and his to-go food. And Chef Tony is drinking a Gamma Bomb from Warped Wing. And Julia is opening her first ever can of Flesh of the Pumpkin from Alexandria. I had some of that this weekend. I am getting ready to crack open something that I've been sitting on for a long time. I believe I pulled this out of the cellar because I couldn't decide what I wanted to drink. And I didn't really want to do another Oktoberfest showdown tonight, mainly because I didn't want to wash the glassware. I have a bunch of glasses laying around. It's more complicated than that, but so I dug into the cellar. I had one sitting in the fridge that I've been sitting on. I don't know exactly when this is from. It doesn't have a date that I can see on it. The newest it could be is 2017, but it could be a couple years older than that too. I don't know. We have Gravitator, a Doppelbock from Listermann, triple digit. It says, what kind of beer do you make for the deep water freezing in your beard winters of Cincinnati? Something big yet smooth. The cold is bitter enough, so we wanted something malty with a touch of sweetness. The style we thought would fit was being brewed in Germany years before our time, a Doppelbock, brewed to our high-gravity standards, thought of as liquid bread by the monks. This beer was drunk as a food substitute during the long winter months of Lent. Gravitator will make you forget about the white death outside and the trek to work that you have to make in the morning. It's our high-gravity ode to Bach season, that oh-so-magical time here in Cincinnati. Parades, goats, floats, and mugs of beer to help give you a sense of relief in the middle of winter that culminates in a 3-day Bach festival in OTR. Look for us in the parade. We wouldn't miss it for the world. Thanks for your support, and cheers to Bach season. That is a lot of words. This was when Triple Digit was the. I don't know how many of you can remember back to those days of Cincinnati beer. Let me pour this while I'm talking. Listermann spun off a side brand, I guess, of their higher gravity beer, and they called it Triple Digit. It was all triple digit gravity, so 10%-ish or higher beers. The bottles, because that's what they were doing at the time. There was not really a lot of canning. Actually, there really wasn't much canning at all going on in Cincinnati when Triple Digit started up. They used the same screen printer that did all of the Stone bottles, if you remember back to those days when Stone was in screen printing bottles also. And you can see a lot of those Stone kind of influences in the branding of this and the wordy kind of story on the back. This is a fun one. I think this is my last old school triple digit beer, so I'm excited to try it. Let's see. Lee is drinking Mad Tree Pumpkin. Justin said he went wild tonight and got a PBR. Chef Tony says Judy is having a Little King's Cream Ale. I haven't had a Little King's in a little while. I could use a Little King's these days. So here we go. Gravitator. Love it. It's definitely got some floaties that I can see when I hold it up to the light. I don't know if you guys can. I don't know if I can get a light for you to see that or not, but it's got some floaties going on. Not too bad though for a beer that's been sitting for at least 4 or 5 years. Probably a couple more than that, honestly. Still pretty though. And oh yeah, it still smells good. It has just a touch of that oxidation going on, but not too much. It's there. But it has like this really cool, like caramely sweetness thing. Reminds me a lot that smell, that caramel kind of smell from this reminds me of Chickow. It's a very, to me, it's a very distinct kind of triple digit brand smell. A lot of those beers kind of had that I don't know what it is. I don't know what ingredient exactly I'm smelling, but it's like a real big caramely sweetness. I guess something can't technically smell sweet. That's a whole other topic we could talk about. Oh yeah, that's still drinking great. I mean, it's a little old. There's definitely a little bit of that cardboardy kind of oxidation, but not too much to still enjoy it. That's for sure. The booziness has kind of mellowed out quite a bit. This one is 10%. Yeah, that's fun. That's good. Like I said, I've been sitting on that for a really long time, so it's fun to crack it open finally. I did, going back to Julia drinking her Flesh of the Pumpkin, I did make it down to Alexandria to drink our collaboration beer. I don't know if you guys heard that through social media or whatnot. I didn't get a post written about it because I'm a bad blogger, but we did a beer that was called All the Andes, brewed by some of the Andes. We got together, a bunch of us who all have the same or very similar names in our non-gnome lives. We got together and made a beer. I did not help with the brewing because I had to work that day, and long story short, I couldn't make it down to get to the brew day. I did sort of contribute some ingredient ideas, however, not really. So let me pull up the notes about it here. We in our text string, I guess, we all were just kind of throwing out some ideas, trying to figure out what we wanted to make for this beer. I should go back in time just a little bit. It's really hard to talk while I'm trying to think about what I'm trying to click on here. Show notes. That's where I've got a quick link. So we started this idea. The idea actually started a really long time ago because somebody made a joke. I don't remember who it was originally, just about how many people there were named Andy or Andrew or something similar to that within the Cincinnati beer community. And then somebody else said we should get as many of them together and brew a beer. And then beyond that was kind of talked about, and then it kind of drifted away. Well, Andy Foltz came up with the idea again, brought it back up this year, a little bit before the anniversary over at Casual Pint. Now, it just so happened that as we started talking about it and we started kind of actually putting the plan into motion to actually make it happen, we had enough time to do it and have it done for Casual Pint's anniversary, but we decided that it would be fun to barrel age this beer, which means that it was not, in fact, done in time for their anniversary. So that's kind of why, timing-wise, why it happened when it did. Beyond that, we started throwing out ideas for the ingredients. So Andrew Bird, formerly of Braxton, starting a new job very soon, he threw out the idea of barrel aging it and putting it in a gin barrel. We had already decided it was going to be an IPA, but beyond that, we didn't really know what else it would be. Gin barrel aged IPA, and then after that, the other ingredients kind of started coming together. Andy Foltz wanted to do Mosaic hops. Andy Clausen wanted to do some Galena hops, and then McLeese Galaxy hops, and then Andy Reynolds Simcoe hops. So everybody had their own hop opinions. Beyond that, Andy Clausen over at Paradise also wanted to do some Vienna malt, and McLeese from Brink wanted to do Maris Otter malt. The only ingredient contribution that I managed to squeeze in there that anybody wanted anything to do with was that it doesn't really need fruit, because we had originally had a discussion that we were going to do an IPA, and I think everybody picked a different fruit. I don't remember where that discussion was during the thing, but that got changed, obviously, and so it doesn't need any fruit. So that was my ingredient contribution. So I didn't really help brew it, and I didn't really help come up with a recipe at all. But it is a delicious beer, and I definitely enjoy it a lot. It is currently on tap at Alexandria, obviously. It's on tap at Braxton Barrel House, and then it is also on tap over at Casual Pint in Hamilton. So if you wanna try it, there's some places around town that you can definitely get your hands on it, and it is freaking delicious. It is it's IPA all the way. Like it's a big double IPA, super hoppy, good tropical kind of hoppy though. And then as it warms up, that gin barrel really starts to pop, and it's definitely something a little bit different. I've not had a lot of barrel aged IPAs that I was in love with, but this one I'm definitely in love with. It's a big beer though. It'll knock you on your ass if you're not careful. So if you're gonna go get it, be careful. That's that. We are. I will hopefully have some more stuff up about it here in the near future. I'm going to try to get to some of the other places that have it on tap, and get some social media stuff up about it. We've got coming up this week. Nine Giant is doing their barrel aged festival. I don't remember what they're calling, barrel aged bash, barrel aged. Barrel Fest, something like that. It's Barrel Aged Beer Festival at their fermentorium. There's still tickets available for that, and it's actually looking like it's going to be a really, really incredible beer festival, which let me pull up some info about that. So get that off the screen. A Barrel Fest, that's what it's called. It's just called Barrel Fest. There's 2 sessions. And if you want to hear a little bit about some of the beers, they've got stuff from Antiques on High, Alexandria sending some stuff, Brink is sending some stuff, Darkness, 50 West, High Grain, Listerman, Little Fish, Mad Tree, Masthead, Narrow Path, Northern Row, Orpheus, Rheingeist, Sonder, Streetside, Taft's, Wolf's Ridge. Some really, really good stuff. And all of those are barrel-aged beers, some sours, some barley wines, some imperial stouts. There's some quad. There's at least one quad in there. A couple pumpkin beers. There's Northern Rose doing, their imperial barrel-aged Schwarzbier. There's going to be some good stuff there. So, and I know the difficulty of putting together a tap list for a beer festival, because we are currently in the middle of planning our beer festival. Me and Meryl from Cincy by the Pint putting all that together as far as the beer side of things, with the Foaling Warehouse. If you guys don't know about that, make sure you get your tickets for that. I anticipate that it's going to be busy, so please get your tickets for it. And that festival, our festival, so Nine Giants this weekend, our festival is going to be on November 20th, which is a Saturday. Again, 2 sessions. And the brewery list is coming out very soon. We originally planned to release it today, but some scheduling things with the social media people from Foaling Warehouse. But we think we've got it all nailed down. I have to double. I don't want to tell you that it's going to come out at a certain time, but how can I quickly pull this up from my iPad? Let me just do a quick check. I've had some notes coming in this whole time that I'm sitting here. Merrill is sending me all kinds of stuff as he gets home from work and whatnot. Oh yeah, I don't think I have any confirmation yet of when we're going to start releasing some of that stuff. I'll tell you. I mean, we're going to try to get it out tomorrow. I'll just say that. We're going to try. I can't promise anything, but that is currently the plan. And that's just breweries. We're not going to give any beers away quite yet. But we have 20, I want to say 26 breweries that we'll be able to announce. And I think that's pretty well maxed out of how many we'll get. Starting to get limited on space. That's the disadvantage of putting one beer on tap from each brewery, is that it consumes a chunk of space versus not. But there's some good stuff. We have some confirmations about quite a few of the beers right now, and yeah, you guys are going to be excited about it. So get your tickets. Go to thegnarlygnome.com/tickets. I should have made a little banner that could pop up here on the screen. It just says thegnarlygnome.com/tickets. I didn't even go through my whole spiel about what this show is and how you do it. Chat, you guys are doing that. Even though you can't see the other platforms, there are fellow people chatting here, as you can see now. Feel free to chat with each other. That's the whole point of this being a happy hour. If you want to go crazy, you can always call in also, as long as I have the... let's see, make sure I have that turned on. Yes, we are on. You guys are welcome to call in 567-70-DRINK. That's 567-703-7465. Julia says, as long as Utopias is what's being poured at the Sam Adams tent, I'm happy. I don't think we'll have Utopias. I probably shouldn't say this. I don't think... Is Meryl on here? Has anybody seen if Meryl's here? Can you guys see who is actually on? Sam Adams may... I won't confirm or deny that Sam Adams may be part of our festival. And if they were hypothetically part of our festival, when we first started talking about it, and because every single brewery was hand chosen by us, and I say us as both of us, we came up with a pretty agreed upon list of about 12 or so, and then the rest, it was kind of back and forth. I really want this. Okay, I really want this. I don't want this. I'm fine with that one. So it was a very back and forth discussion. And when Meryl, hypothetically, if they were part of it, I'm not confirming or denying, if they were part of the festival, when Meryl would have brought them up, hypothetically, it would have gone something along the lines of, what do you think about Sam Adams? Do you think they should be part of this? And I hypothetically, if they were part of it, would have made a joke that if they're bringing Utopias, absolutely they can be part of it. If not, then it has to be something that is brewed here in Cincy in the tap room, one of the small batch kind of things. And then from that, we would have gone down another discussion. But the joke from the beginning was the only thing that I would accept from the bigger kind of arm of Sam Adams was Utopias, but no. to skip all of that, there are kegs of Utopias out there in the world. If you remember 2 years ago when they did release Utopias here in town and had it in the tap room, they did have it on tap, which is something that I've never seen before. They do it at GABF, and I think that's the only other place that I've heard of it existing on tap. Also, I heard a rumor that 2 years ago, when they had it on tap, they had 2 kegs of it, and they only went through one that night. The other keg of it was set aside, and there was supposed to be another Utopias celebration later on. And then, as you guys all remember, last year, 2020, everything shut down, and a celebration of Utopias could not happen. So I think, don't quote me on this, but I think that there may be a keg of Utopias sitting down there at Sam Adams in the tap room. Not in the tap room, probably tucked away very safely across the street in some kind of vault. So it exists, but I don't know that we will be able to get it on tap. Even if they were willing to send it, I don't think we could afford it. That would severely change the number of kegs that we were allowed to have. Instead of having 23 breweries, we'd have like 2. Although, we might still be able to sell the same amount of tickets with Utopias and one other beer. I don't know what they would actually charge for a keg of Utopias. Let's do some quick math. I'm assuming it would be a sixtel, but we'll do the math for a half barrel because that's what we would need for that many people. Let's see. Hang with me while I do some fun math. Marco says I paid $20 for 1 ounce. Yeah. And there is, we'll say 1,900 ounces in a half barrel. Does that sound about right? That would be roughly at retail price like that, mind you. It would be a little bit cheaper for the I guess the wholesale price, but we're talking $38,000 for a half barrel ounce wise of Utopias. Even if we said it was 2/3 of that, yeah, it'd be a pretty expensive keg of beer. Utopias does not come in a half barrel, by the way. It was only in sixtels, and I've only seen it that one time. But I'm pretty sure there's one sitting around. If I could get it, I would. I do have some back there. Maybe I'll fill a little flask with some Utopias during our festival, and can sneak into a corner with Marco and let him drink some. Can you imagine spending $38,000 on a keg of beer? My God. No, I can't. We should go through some label approvals. Let's break things up with some label approvals. Julie says, "Aren't we worth it? Shouldn't you at least try?" Oh, I try. I always try. It doesn't mean it's it doesn't mean it's gonna happen. I like Sam Adams, and I think Sam Adams likes me, but they don't like me that much. This beer is just a little disappointing now that I've got Utopias in my head. In fact, hang on. I'll drink some Utopias. I have to go get a special glass, though. All right. It's not an insult. How fast can you get here, Marco, before I drink all this? Haven't had any for a while. Utopias is one of those beers that you typically only break out for a special occasion. And I mean, it is a Monday. It is the weekly pint. It's a special occasion, right? If anybody has not ever seen these bottles, they are just awesome. It's got the looks like a brew kettle, and these little windows open up, and Sam Adams hiding inside there with a beer, and they are all numbered on the bottom. This is bottle 16,146. All right. Oh, I forgot to turn the light on, guys. There we go. There. Now you can see the little gnome over here. Except the bottle's on his way. So Utopias is it's more like a booze, more like brandy. My wife says that if anybody shows up at the door, she'll just send them down here to the basement. I'm surprised she's not coming down here. I'm asking my wife right now if she has ever actually tried this. When we got this 2 years ago, she was pregnant, and I felt bad about it because she could not take part when I brought it home. Marco says, I'm not far. That's true. You're actually not that far. Your to-go pickup stop is about probably 3/4 of the way from your house to mine. She says she has tried it. The kid is still in the bathtub. That was why the show was a little late starting. We had to battle a 4-year-old for a little bit, trying to convince her that she has to wash her hair before she goes to school tomorrow. You know the saying, Utopias before family, always. What's really cool about this beer is that it really does not taste boozy. You know, sometimes you get a 10-15% beer that just tastes like you're drinking some kind of grain alcohol, and this does not taste like that at all. Give me just a second, guys, to take part in this Utopias. Let me enjoy it. Oh yeah, I mean it's boozy, but it really is unlike anything else. I love that beer. There's a little cherry thing going on at the end. So good. Good call, guys. Having me break out the Utopias. I promise, Marco and Julia, I promise that I will share this with you at some point. I just have to figure out a proper time and place to do it. I definitely am not strolling into to BC's Bottle Lodge while you guys are recording with a bottle of Utopias. Although, well, I don't know how much Sam Adams they sell there, but there is always that chance that BC's will get some Utopias. Have you asked them about that? Because if they do, and if they open it up for tasting in the store, you know, you could sip on some then. We don't know the date exactly of when it'll start popping up locally, but it's going to retail for $240 for a bottle, which is super expensive. But I almost definitely think it's worth it, especially at least once in your life. It's so good. I remember the first time I tried it, I paid even more than that, $20 for an ounce. When Jungle Jim's got it 4 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago. I can't remember what year it was exactly. They got some in, and they took one bottle of it and opened it up for tastes behind the bar, behind the tasting bar. You could buy a special Utopias glass, and it came with a taste for $35, I believe. That was definitely the most expensive ounce of beer that I have ever purchased, but it was totally worth it. Chris says that the beating I would take if I bought a bottle of that would be slow and unmercifully administered. Well, willing to share ounces, just a couple ounces. Especially if I am able to snag another bottle this year. I don't know if I could convince my wife to let me spend $240 on it this year, but I do think it is definitely worth it. It's a really fun beer, especially for your first time drinking it. It kind of blows your mind about what beer can be, and that's not BS that I'm saying. It is it's something unlike anything else I've ever tried. Have you ever had it, Chris? So I know Marco has had it. Julia, have you ever had it? Chris, have you ever had it? Anybody else? Julia says, same. If I manage to get any, I'm absolutely sharing. It is one of those things that anytime I have people over here and we are talking about it and they tell me that they have not had it, it is definitely one that we dive into. It's really, really good. I mean, it is definitely an ounce at a time is all you really need because it is 28% ABV. But because it's so kind of so special, it does kind of forces you to stretch it out for a long time. I also don't like that you really can't tell how much liquid is still in the bottle because this is a heavy, like, ceramic bottle. My next step is to get a bottle signed by Jim Cook. It's my next goal. All right, let's do label approvals, and we'll start with a couple good ones. Couple local ones here. Astra, you guys all love your seltzer, right? Bunch of fizz heads. Julia says, what food would you pair with it, or is this an after dinner on its own kind of drink? That's a valid question. So, yes, you can definitely put this with food, but at an ounce at a time. I feel like if you're eating with it, it'll go down too fast, and I wouldn't want to do that. So I would not pair it with food. I would either do it with dessert of some kind, or definitely just as kind of an after dinner drink on its own. Me personally, maybe with a cigar actually after dinner, maybe. But no, I probably wouldn't do it with food. Astra, nothing new from Astra. Bomb Pop, you guys have seen before. It is from their ice cream truck series. So let you simmer on that for a little while. If you haven't had Bomb Pop at this point, I don't know what to tell you. It has definitely become a seltzer staple in Cincinnati, to say the least. Let's see here. Up next, Blackberry Breeze. Again, if you guys haven't had Blackberry Breeze, you're missing out. Also, my wife discovered this actually not that long ago. I had some in my fridge down here, and she saw it and asked what it was, and so feel free to try some. And then I think she proceeded to drink every single one of them that I had down here, and I have not refreshed them. But they're good in the summer. I love them. This one here, as you can see, this is not a brewery that we are familiar with. Grand River Brewery. I mean, some of you might be familiar with them, but they are not local. This is one of those Taft's labels. It's a contract called Blank Stare. I don't know where this place is out of. It doesn't really tell me. It is interesting when you see some of this wording locally. It makes it very hard to tell that it is that it's contract brewed. But if you're a fan of Grand River Brewery, and you see that it's brewed and packaged under special agreement in Cincinnati, Ohio, it's a dead giveaway that it's made by somebody. It kind of looks like a Michigan type of brewery, doesn't it? I have no idea where it is. I didn't look that up. Somebody else can Google it right now while we're talking about it. But I mean, I love the deer on here with the name. I think it's clever. It's fun. This is another one of those contract ones. I think this one is absolutely brilliant. The artwork on it, Eddie Van Hazy, and then that kind of those Van Halen colors, but definitely kind of their own spin on it. Another Taft's one. Jackson, Michigan. Thank you, Julia. What else? Another Rockford Brewing Company. Another contract. Something hoppy. Again, Taft's. John says, I'd love to see how much Taft makes contract brewing versus their own. Yeah, it's a different business model, that's for sure. They still make plenty of their own beer, but they are definitely cranking out some other stuff. That's for sure. I threw this one in there. I'm not sure if this existed already. Any of you Twisted Tea fans can let me know, but this is Twisted Tea Light. So it comes in 110 calories, 5 grams of sugar, 4% ABV. So it's just super light, no carbonation. You can pound these guys all day. John says, had their pumpkin today. I'm assuming Taft's, not Twisted Tea. Although Twisted Tea Pumpkin, I bet would sell. Trivia, I mean, I think I talked about this probably the last Twisted Tea label that I talked about on here, but I have had a Twisted Tea once, and it was a really long time ago, and I thought I couldn't understand it. It was not good, and it's been so long now that I'm curious to try it again sometime. Stay tuned for that. Maybe you'll see it on Prost one of these days. A Twisted Tea episode of Prost. Here's this one. The keg collar came through last week for the show. This came through that very next day through the TTB. This is, I'm guessing, the next seasonal from Urban Artifact, the Goza series. Chocolate cranberry Goza, a spin, I guess, on slide rule. Yeah, sign me up for this. I love all of their Gozas. I love all that stuff that they're doing. I actually prefer, I think, the Gozas over Midwest Fruit Tarts. Love Midwest Fruit Tarts. They're great, but I think that these are more my speed. That's it. That's all for the label approvals. I thought there were more than that. I'm sorry. Boring. Chris says, I bet that slaps. Are you talking about the Twisted Tea Light or the Misrule? Because I bet one slaps, as they say, more than the other. And I bet they would both be fairly bussing. Misrule. Yeah, I know that there was a couple years ago a lot of slide rule that ended up on closeout around. Bussin', no cap. I don't understand these things. I kind of understand what that means, but it doesn't make any sense. Some days I never feel as old as I do when I listen to Shift Beers. You know what is bussing times 3? Utopias is bussing times 3. 3 buses. I rate this 3 buses on the scale of bussing. Julia says, no, you should listen to Shift Beers. Yeah, I mean, I do listen to Shift Beers. I just don't understand it. You can't triple bus a double bus. I can do whatever I want. I'm the gnome. I can create my own lingo if I want to. So that's that. I don't think I had anything else that I wanted to hit on tonight. We could talk, obviously we could talk a lot about our beer festival that we're working on, but I'm not really allowed to dive in any deeper to some of the stuff that we're getting ready to announce. A double-decker bus with a triple bus. What about 3 double-decker buses? What is that? I think this is a sign that we should wrap up the show, guys. If you obviously, if you like what we or what I do on any of these platforms, you guys know how to support. Go to thegnarlygnome.com/support and become a gnomie, like a lot of the people that you're hanging out with right now. So thanks to all of you guys. I do need to get some swag out to some of you guys. Some of the new supporters. Chris, you are due for a box of stuff. Maybe I will put a double-decker sandwich in there for you. The third W and BW3s. Whose show was that on? Was that on Truth Beer Podsequences, or was that on Shift Beers? It's WEC, Wild Wings and WEC. I know that doesn't actually answer the question because I also don't know what WEC is. But that is what it stands for. I know that. It's Buffalo Wild Wings and WEC. Chris, do you know what WEC is? Let me Google it really quick. Sandwich? I'll be damned, it is a sandwich. Beef on WEC is a sandwich found primarily in Western New York, particularly in Buffalo. It's made with roast beef on a Kummelweck roll. Yeah, okay. It's bread, a yeast roll. Look at that, beef on WEC. Can you order that at BW3's? I don't think you can. I don't think I've ever seen it on the menu. Yeah, so that's what the third W stands for. That was one of those times that you're listening to a podcast and you're yelling at the radio. Like, I know the answer to that. I don't know what it is, but I know the answer to it. Yeah, the frustration of podcasting. Not anymore. Yeah, I'm sure you could at one time, I guess. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Yes, support the gnome. Buy stuff. The gnarlygnome.com/shop. Listen to Truth Beer Podsequences. I may have, I don't want to promise this. If you go to the beer festival in November, Beer, Booze, and Bonks, then you may be able to buy some swag there too. Possibly even some of the swag that I still have not got on the online store. So glassware, some of the cool limited edition stickers, maybe even some shirts that you can't get on there. I don't know yet. We have not figured all that out. We have a couple things that we still have not even started really figuring out yet, and swag is one of those things. We are also definitely going to have a couple booths for local vendors. So if any of your friends want to sell their wares, let them know. Julia says, important festival question: will there be festival merch, T-shirt, koozie, etc.? Yeah, we've talked about it, but I don't know. I don't know yet. We've toyed with that idea a little bit. I'm afraid of doing T-shirts, especially because we don't know how many people are going to buy T-shirts. Year one, it's a complete crapshoot of how many people are going to show up and how many of them are going to want a T-shirt. And we don't want to spend a ton of money on a bunch of T-shirts that then we're stuck with. So we have, I'm probably talking about too much that we're working on, but we've toyed around with the idea of doing some kind of live screen printing kind of thing, so that we don't have to pre-print a bunch of T-shirts, basically. But it would also be fun to see. But if we do T-shirts, that's probably the solution that we'll go with. As far as other stuff, if we are going to do it, we need to get some of it ordered very soon. Chris says, don't do it. You'll either sell out and people will be pissed, or stuck with like 20 smalls. That is definitely my concern. But other folks wanted it, so we're in discussion about how that might work. Stickers might be cool. Yeah, stickers are are definitely a better solution in my opinion. Seltzer got me bonked. Yeah, I mean, regardless, there will be some kind of stickers there, even if they're just gnome stickers. Maybe I'll just go ahead and produce a line of some other stuff, some limited festival things. If I do that, I need to figure out how I'm gonna manage all of that while I'm at a festival for 12 hours, getting bonked. I'm totally going to start using that as a as a verb now. Bonked. we have a meeting about some stuff tomorrow. I'll try to bring some of that up during it. We got to get all this beer figured out first. We still have a lot of breweries that we need to talk to pick some beers and to poke at them and get them to let us get the beers that we want. Hashtag bonked. Yeah. So get your tickets. Get bonked with us. It'll be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Especially if you do that second session. So for $40, you can get your tickets to the festival. An extra 10, you can get in early, and then another extra 10, you can stay for the Kick the Keg after party. So for $60, you can really hang out for a really long time and drink everything you possibly want to drink. It's gonna be fun. I got to figure out my mystery beers. What day is the festival? The festival is November 20th. You can go to thegnarlygnome.com/tickets to get tickets for it. It's going to be an absolute blast. You get for $40, you get 20 tasters plus 2 full 12-ounce beers of mystery beers. So stay tuned. I'll have a video about the mystery beer machine coming up. I'm really hoping to get it done this week, but I don't know, depending on what the kids upstairs allow me to work on. It'll kind of explain what the mystery beer machine is, and we're going to load that thing up with some fun stuff. Here's a bunch of Natterdays and Twisted Teas. Let's get bonked! Oh, Lord. I wouldn't do that to you guys. All right, guys, we are wrapping this up. I'm going to go sit, and I'm going to drink my Utopias and my Gravitator, and yeah. Does it come with an apology letter to my wife? That costs way more than $60 from my experience. I will totally write you like a doctor's excuse for your wife. If between now and the festival I try Twisted Tea and I think it's the greatest thing in the world, it may end up in the mystery beer machine. I don't know. There's going to be something in there. There's going to be lots of things in there, and some of it'll be awesome, and some of it may be a little bit more of the shift beers kind of stuff. One Smirnoff Ice. I am going to push for that. Can you get 12-ounce cans of Smirnoff Ice? Because if you can, there may be one in each of our mystery beer machine selections. We'll see. Thank you, guys. Remember, this show would be nothing without you, so thank you very much. Buy some tickets. Cheers, guys. It only comes in the slim cans, which won't fit in the machine, so we'll have to figure something out as far as Smirnoff Ice. Cheers, everybody.